Motion is all around you. All kinds of things move in different ways. From cars, trucks, and buses, to leaves in a tree. Motion is constantly happening. Think about how you get to and from school. You may take a bus, walk, or get dropped off by a parent. None of this would be possible without motion. Within our discussion of motion, you will encounter many new words. It is important to keep these words in mind so that you have a full understanding of all of the concepts involved with motion. As investigators, it is important to observe the motion that takes place in our everyday lives. There are different ways for objects to move and different ways for us to observe these movements taking place. An example of the first type of motion is similar to the way that we walk in the hallway in school. We have to stand in single file order and walk in a straight line. Just as the way we walk in school in a straight line, we also do so on a train. This type of movement is called straight line motion. These are movements that take place in a straight line, usually along a track. Another example of straight line motion would be the way in which we use an escalator. We move in one direction up or one direction down. Baseball players also use straight line motion as they run from base to base. If they do not move in a straight line and follow from base to base, they will be called out. Here are some other examples of straight line motion. Not all objects move in a straight path. As you go on a roller coaster, you may go around loops or twists and turns. This type of movement is called curved motion. It is important to remember that within curved motion, objects move in a circular pattern around a center point. If you focus on the swings in the video right now, you'll see that every single person on a swing is moving in a circular pattern around the post that is directly in the center. Another example of curved motion is taking place right now as the man is applying wax to his car. You'll notice that his hand is moving in a circular pattern and also around a center point. On the screen you'll see some more examples of curved motion. Another way objects can move is back and forth. You'll notice on the screen that the two balls on the end keep moving back and forth. This is called back and forth motion. Another term used to describe back and forth motion is vibration. If you notice the strings on the guitar, you'll see that they are vibrating back and forth rapidly. You may notice a difference between this swing and the swing that we looked at while we were talking about curved motion. This swing moves in a back and forth motion, and you could see that the girl on the screen keeps moving from back to forth. When you ride your bicycle, you will pass trees, houses, and buildings that don't move. When you pass these, you know where you are moving. As objects move and change position, we often compare them to objects that don't. This is called relative motion. Your frame of reference is very similar to your point of view. You use your frame of reference to make observations about motion around you and the motion that you're a part of. Imagine that you are on a bus. You may look out the window and see many different things move around you. However, when you have a different frame of reference and you look at only items inside the bus, such as your shoes, you may see no motion at all. Finally, if you are outside of the bus, you will have a different frame of reference altogether. You will see the bus moving along with all of the people on board of the bus. These are 3 different examples of frame of reference and how we use them to observe motion. Just as there are different ways in observing motion, there are also different ways in measuring motion. One of those ways is by speed. Speed is the rate at which an object changes position. In other words, it is the time that it takes to travel a certain distance from one point to another. When you look at a speedometer inside of a car, you'll notice that here in America, it measures miles per hour. A car going 40 miles per hour is definitely going faster than a car going 10 miles per hour because it will cover more miles and distance in the same amount of time, an hour. Another way we measure motion is by velocity. Velocity is any change within speed or direction. To focus more on velocity, we'll be looking at roller coasters. Imagine that you are ready to take the plunge. You are ready to go down a big drop on a roller coaster. Right now, your velocity is as follows. You're facing downward and picking up speed. Just as you reach the bottom, you are at full speed. A big loop is right in front of you. Your velocity will now change. Your roller coaster car will now slow down and your direction will be facing upwards. As you now can tell, motion is necessary for our lives. Without motion, we will not be able to get from place to place or enjoy the things we do. It's important to observe the motions that we make as well as measure them so we can learn more about our lives.